Okay, here we go. The watch list for, let's see, it's going to be Monday, August 21st. First, I got this graphic up there. The reason behind this, I've always been jealous of the guys on Wall Street that get to go out after trading all week or all day, whatever, or even during the week, and, hit the bar and go to happy hour and share war stories from trading that day or that week. And I always thought that would be really cool. And you know what? We figured, hey, there's a way to do that virtually, and so that's what we're doing. That's literally what we're proposing. It's not going to be an organized webinar. We probably will, just to get the ball rolling, go over maybe a couple charts and trades that we took this week to kind of explain to you a little bit about what we do. But mostly, it's just going to be a gathering where anybody who wants to come at all can pop in. It's not just for our chat room members. We're just going to be literally having a couple drinks. Make sure you don't drive afterwards, and talking trading, because trading is one of my favorite subjects, and nobody in my family ever wants to talk trading. So, hope you join us. I don't have a link yet, so just keep your eyes open. I don't know how we're going to do it. I guess there'll be a link where you register, but I don't think the registration is going to ask for any information other than just give you the link and the time and all that. But it should be Thursday, right at the market close this week. So I think it's going to be fun, and I hope to see a lot of you there. Let's get that out of the way now and talk about the SPY here. A lot of times, and I said this going into Friday, a lot of times after a big day, up or down, you get kind of a narrow range the next day, which you kind of had for most of the morning, and then it did kind of break out and ended up closing. Look at that, right about where it opened. I mean, that you get that a lot the day after a big move, right? You get kind of you can see it here too. Big day, and then a quiet little, where opened where it closed. You see that often. So I don't generally go into the next day in panic mode because you had this big ugly red candle. I usually go into it with the expectations that there's not going to be much to trade. Having said that, we did have a couple nice trades on Friday. If you watched our video for Friday that we put out on Thursday night, I mentioned Snap, just to give you an example. It looked like this, and I said, you know what, this is holding up really well, especially in an ugly tape. And the way I called it on Friday, and I'll zoom in a little bit here, was this nice tight range in the opening 5 minutes. I said this 5-minute high break, 1336, with a low of day stop, which was only 25, so like 11 cents risk could work. In other words, it could break the opening range and maybe get through yesterday's high. And as I said in the video, maybe this thing heads up to 14. It's exactly what it did, and it went through 14. It actually went to 14.25. So there was one example of a call. Trigger here, stop here, and you can see what it did. And I also gave the idea of SPWH on a break of its opening high, which was over 420. You can't really see it on 5-minute candles, but 421, worst case stop about a dime below. And that thing went nicely all the way through 483. And speaking of SPWH, actually, it's on our watch list. Even though it closed well off its highs, it's on our watch list for a possible setup on Monday. And let me just go into the watch list now. I just want to show you a couple highlights from Friday. RGC is really interesting. I believe this is a movie theater, Regal Entertainment Group. And whenever you have this many red candles in a row down, and then you get one that dwarfs all the other ones on massive volume, that's possible capitulation. So I really want to watch this for a reversal. I'm showing you the weekly here. Reversal trade on Monday. And remember, I am not an overnight holder. I'm not an investor, so I'm just looking for a trade. And this is a pretty good setup for a snapback bounce on Monday. That's RGC. GoPro, just no trades in it on Friday. Just goes back on bounce watch. It's coming back down to the 200-day from above. It did take out the 20-day, but still, after this gap up on earnings, it's been bleeding low ever since. It didn't give it a setup on Friday. Maybe it gives a setup on Monday. SBH. This one had a good sizable candle and nearing recent lows. So that one, especially if it could sell off at the open and get down to this area here, I'll be watching for an intraday reversal. Foot Locker, sometimes, man, you get a gap down and there's just no bounce in something. That kind of happened in Foot Locker. And sometimes the next day you get a nice bounce. So that one goes on watch. That's FL. Already talked about SPWH. IDXG just goes back on watch. You have a nice 3-day run and a 2 days lower on declining volume. Pretty good setup. Might need to come in another day. We don't know, but we're going to watch it. Specs, SPEX, had this big day on Thursday. Quiet inside day on Friday. Goes back on long watch. CBI. It's hanging around this $10 area. Let's see. Thursday's high was 10.11. Friday's high was 10.15. I did call this one right here on Friday at right around 982, I think. And it did end up going up to almost 10.15 and really kind of flagging all afternoon. Let me switch to 15-minute candles here. So you had this huge sell-off and then a bounce and sideways action. So I expect this to break one way or the other. I certainly like it if it can get up to this area. I don't know, 10.15, 10.20-ish. Might kind of break out to the upside a little bit. It's certainly beaten senseless, right? It was $30 just as recently as May and now trading under 10. Especially if we get some infrastructure news, because that's kind of what these guys do. So let's keep our eyes on the CBI. J.C. Penney's got news of an insider buy. I think the chairman bought 100,000 shares in the 340s, if I'm not mistaken. Nice volume on Friday. I did get a late day trade in this one on that news. Got long right in here somewhere, and I had to sell. I had to leave, so I took decent size, I guess, but had to sell pretty quickly for just a few pennies because I had to leave. But I did kind of make a note that I really want to watch this one next week. That's an interesting news. And it's been bleeding lower. It's kind of sitting near all-time lows. I kind of like the look of the hammer and extra volume on Friday. So potential long trade in that one on Monday. My last one is HZNP, which had a big day on Thursday, and then an inside day, but near Thursday's high is where it closed on Friday. So I really like it over this 2-day high. It might come up and revisit 14. And who knows, if it gets some momentum, maybe break out through 14, come up and test that 200-day. So that one's worth watching. We're going to add pre-market gappers to our watch list as well on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.